Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi with more props on my head. Better lighting, sorry for the bad lighting lately. Love triangle. I shouldn't have to say that to you, but I want to make sure that you figure out what it is. So as you know, in the SWTOR campaign I'm doing, I finished chapter 1. It ends up around level 30. And now I'm starting the second chapter. That was all a precursor to this is going to be the final where some good things happen. So I'm going to a planet that's Roxy. I'm going to planet Balmora, and I'm going to fight. This is a contested planet. It's kind of in the beginning, you were in your own domain, but later on, as you get like level 30 and above, you're going to go to more and more where you're contested Republic versus Imperial. Roxy, you will get squirted. So, and Roxy took off before I could squirt her. Maybe she's learning. So, I'm getting my marching orders from this guy, and then we're going to move forward. Now starts as Star Wars The Old Republic goes on and on. The choices you get are more and more hard to do what's right, what's wrong. There's more of those moral choices. And furthermore, there's another aspect to this game. You get companions. You met, the droid has always been my favorite companion with this character. TR7 or TD7, whatever it is, T7. And I have Kira, who is my Jedi Padawan. And now I'm going to meet my next possible companion. And then I'll explain what everything means. Just to put it in perspective, T7's like level 18 companion. Kira's like level 8. So that guy is really over the top, YouTube. One of the things in Star Wars The Old Republic, you might have heard this about Baldur's Gate, you can have romantic liaisons with people. And this is the start of it. So what will happen is you'll talk to them and you'll have a dialogue where you can flirt. And you have to raise the companion level and all that kind of stuff. I don't want some guy with a mustache, YouTube. And he has real misogynistic kind of stuff, like, hey, you're the Jedi saber. Like, he's gross, YouTube. He's gross. So I'm cleaning out this area. On this base, there's an indigenous smart species that also exists. And always part of the battle is you're trying to convert the indigenous people to one side or the other. So from now on, we're going to be trying to convert the indigenous population to the other. Sometimes we won't have a chance, and sometimes it'll happen. On the last mission, when they had the death ray on me, that's when that started happening. More and more focus, like, hey, the population doesn't know which way they're going. What T7 says, every time Doc does that flirty stuff, T7's like, she's already got a droid, bro. So what starts, and it's kind of funny because there's this dynamic where they don't like each other. So he'll start saying some denigrating things on T7 vice versa. So here I'm killing the rest of the, and this type of insect enemy is common in a lot of these games. And so maybe this is the first that had this particular type, but then, you know, every other game ends up having, and it bleeds through me because I fought so many of these kind of looking characters, click clacks, whatever they are. My light went off, sorry, YouTube. And the Ronan Kazi cheap, have my monitor like my face, school of video editing. So one of the things I told you about Star Wars The Old Republic is the story is good. So more and more of these, as I'm leveling up, my skills, if I get a skill that's remarkably better, I will teach you that and show you that. But basically, on the mode I have it on now, it's kind of, it's not story mode, but it's pretty easy to play when you have a companion. Whenever you have someone healing you 100%, it makes content easy. And I wanted to give you a view of the kind of planet. So this concept of love triangle, where two people love the same person, it exists in a lot of different ways. In English, we don't have a lot of words for love. We have love, how you love your mom, is love. How you love your father, love. How you love your brother, how you love your sister, how you love your neighbor, how you love your friends, how you love sports, how you love video games, how you love your favorite movie, how you love your favorite book. You get it. In other languages, in Greek, there's different types of word for love. And in other languages, they have different types of love. In other languages, they talk about future. In English, it's a kludge to talk about the future. I will have gone. So there's these constructs to put things together. In other languages, they talk about the future. So if you take some studies about Western society, you'll say that's why Western society doesn't ever really think about the future. They just don't have a language for it. And connected to that, you'll hear about, there's sometimes they've done studies about vision, that if someone can't see green, they don't have a word for green, they'll never recognize green until you tell it's green, and then they can see green. So there's studies. If you want more of that, I'll annotate that and give that to you. And I put those together in that if you don't have the language for different types of love, it's going to be hard for you to experience different types of love. You can experience them, but you won't have a name for them. So it gets awkward when you say, I love my wife, I love my, okay, let's do it more romantic. I love my girlfriend or the, whatever, my date, and I love my mom. Right? That's not the same type of love. Maybe it is for you too, and maybe that you should go to jail. Now, I don't know if that's a jailable offense, but that's morally, we kind of frown on that. And we talked about that about Oedipus. When Oedipus found out that he had relations, you two, when he had relations with his mom, he gouged his eyes out and had kids with her. That's kind of this taboo that was in society. Anyways, so I'm starting to have a love triangle between Doc, that's the name of that kid, Doc with the porn stash, Doc, T7 and me. Now, me and T7 don't have those feelings. T7 and I don't have the flirt option. Baldur's Gate does have a flirt option, and it has a lot more if you want to go in that direction, because it's more of an RPG. This is normally, well, not normally, because we're talking about love. I would love you to subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, comment when they're available. If you really like to comment, you could go on my Discord channel, or you could wait a little bit, maybe a couple hours, and then you could record your comments. I try to get the comments up as soon as I can and start unlocking them over and over until YouTube stops doing that. Anyways, back to the video. So I want you to consider this thought experiment. There's a thing called the Oedipal complex, where the son is competing with the father for the attention of the mother. Now, that's an automatic dynamic, because when a mother has a child, they have to give that child attention. In the case of the mother, she's also in love with the husband and whatever. So there starts to be a competition for that. That's a love triangle that we don't want to visualize, or we don't want to think about. And that same thing to a lesser extent, I don't know if there's a name for it, with a daughter, father, and mother. But that's an interesting thing to consider. Again, T7 and I'm not going to have an amorous relationship with Doc. It's a one-sided relationship. He wants to have a relationship with me. I don't want to have a relationship with him. How do you handle all of these situations? How do you, and again, it's a balancing act, right? So why do you play video games? Because let's say you're a teenager and you're playing this game, you're going to eventually say, man, if I maximize my affinity with T7, that minimizes my affinity with Doc. Now, I would submit to you that you should all not choose Doc because of that porn stash. Also, he does something dastardly at the end of this. So this is another one of those moral choices. We just got an alert that those insect people are going to come in and attack. The Imperial people are all injured. So I have a choice. Do I run? Do I save my people? Or do I save the Imperials? So I get a dialogue. And of course, I'm a do-gooder. I'm going to save the Imperials. So I'm going to order him to save the Imperials. He's going to go, you're going to have to protect me. You see that light? I did the right thing there. Or I did the light side thing. So he's going to help them. Us and the Imperials are going to work against the insect people. And I think hopefully I kept this part in so you could see me whoop their tails. Also in the game, in a meta sense, I'm getting out leveled now. So now I'm like level 29 and they're level 32. So I got to start leveling. So what parts I've cut out is I got to start leveling up again. So I might throw an XP pot on and get XP for 3 hours. And outside of the videos, I might level my character up because it makes the stories flow easy. Again, when you have someone healing you all the time, it's pretty easy. So at this point, we're finished with this. And Doc says, well, we better go. What do you want to do? There's a motorcycle. And I go, you take it. And watch how fast this MFer leaves. He's not supposed to do that, YouTube. Porn stash. Porn stash just jets. We're going to talk about it right here. Hey, there's only one motorcycle. I, being a Jedi, say, why don't you take it? Watch bro here. Wait for it. Yeah, it's a good idea. Show him turn, YouTube. Look at him pointing down. I'll stay for you. No, you won't, bro. Maybe I got you hyped up too fast. Maybe this is the part. Look at how he puts his arm, YouTube. I'm never going to date that guy. Ever. Porn stash. I'm sorry, YouTube. I get fixated on that. But that's my best romantic choice, is Doc. I say no. I think we already got out of there. I think we're on the next section. So I think that was it. So now what I'm supposed to do, that's part of the resistance on this place. We have the Republic, armies there, the resistance there. They're not exactly on the same team. They want two different. They both want to get the Imperials off. So again, another triangle. And I'm trying to finish my mission. So that's the Republic Army. And the guy with the close cropped haircut, prop YouTube. The guy with the close cropped haircut is the Resistance. And that's going to again get another moral battle. So I'm getting moral decision. And love triangles do that. Have you ever led someone on? I have, inadvertently, because I was too cowardly to tell a person, no, we're not going to happen. As I got older in my life, that was when I was younger, because maybe I didn't want to be alone. That's usually the main reason. I'm not going to give you 3 reasons. People don't want to be alone. So I've told you before that you should learn to be alone, because then you just can save yourself from those situations. This might be the motorcycle, but I don't think it is. That guy's a scrub, though. I'm not going to be with him, YouTube. And later in my life, I was dating a person, long story, but I was dating a person. They said, are we ever going to get married? And I said, no. And this was probably when I was way older than just normal. Second time around age. And I was like, no. Because we were just diametrically opposed. So I understand from her perspective, she has a certain time frame where she has certain looks, energy, and everything that she can devote to converting for a lifelong mate. And the same thing with me. I was in a different spot, and it's horrible to say that, but I was in a better position, so I could be pickier with what I was doing. And so instead of just leading her on, I just said no. And pretty much my adult life, I'd say when I was 25 and more, I could do that. Partly because of my situation with my dad dying and all that stuff. I just don't have time to dick around, in my mind. But what do you do when you have this thing? You know, what you could do is clearly say to T7, listen, you're always going to be my main buddy. You ride and die with me. When you give me those heals, T7, you're on point, bro. But, and he's going to go, zzz, and he'll put out all his gadgets, and I'm like, nope, that won't do it, though. So here's the moral dilemma. This was the Resistance spy, and she lies at first. And we're like, why are we lying? And she was like, because I agreed to work for the other side. So that guy wanted to kill her. We say, we're going to take her on our team. So he feels betrayed because she was looking out for her own skin. So as you're getting further in this game, you're getting more and more plot twists and more moral choices and compromising. Love triangles are hard. I would just tell you the first thing, don't get in them. You should never get in a love triangle because you shouldn't love two people amorously at once. Now, you're going to say, but I have the capacity. I know you have the capacity, YouTube, but not everyone's wired that way. So you have to be explicit. And if you ever watch something like Sister Wives or something like that, they eventually, that all shits the bed. Because someone can say, yeah, I'm down with it, but in reality, they're not. Some people may be, but the percentage is very few. Like quantum mechanics, YouTube. This is Ronan Kazi. Thank you again. 2 videos one day. Thank you, YouTube.